Welcome back, everyone. We are going to look at part 6 of the Reading and Use of English paper, FCE. Okay, so this is the second part of the 3 reading parts you have. Part 5 was the first. This is part 6. It is the second. Okay, so after this one, you will have the last part of the complete reading and use of English section. So, a few basic questions. How many questions are there? There are 6 questions. How many marks can you get? You can get up to 12 marks. How many texts do we read? There is one long passage with different paragraphs, but it's one long one. How many options can we choose from? You have 7 options to choose from. This is an example. As you can see, this is the long passage. And here are the 7 options you can choose from. The objective is to take one option and insert it where it best fits, depending on the context. So, for example, 37 could be option F. F goes into 37, for example, yeah? All right. So, that is what the objective is of this task. Now we're going to look at the different strategies you need to get the best mark. Okay, so now I see I don't have any lighting. Hold on a second. Ta-da! There you go. Put some lights on. Alrighty then. So let's look at the tips and strategies. You have to read through the text quickly. So here's the text. You have to read through it quickly. But while you read, you have to do something. Okay, one moment. Pay extra attention to the first and the last part of each paragraph. Like in the previous reading, normally the most important information is at the beginning and at the end of each paragraph. So when you read quickly through everything, pay extra close attention to the beginning and to the end of each paragraph. Okay, summarize each paragraph with a few words on the margin of the page to help you easily get back to the part of the reading text you need to get to faster. Okay, in other words, when you read through each paragraph quickly, you are paying attention to the first and last part of the paragraph, and you are summarizing that paragraph with 2 or 3 words, key words, your words, that help you understand what that paragraph is about. This will later help us to connect or to look for the best paragraph and match them with the different options. Now, moving on. Okay, there has to be a clear connection between the options you choose in the text. Obviously, paraphrasing and synonyms are very common. Now, when you connect, for example, again, F to 37, there has to be a clear reason why you connect. There has to be something that connects them. If there is no connection, then you are not right. Let's look at the strategies. Okay, so you have 37 and 38 right here. Okay, these are this one and that one. So I made them larger, and here you have. Now, what the first thing you're going to do is you're going to summarize each paragraph with a few words on the margin to help you get back to that specific area of the whole passage quickly and faster when you look at your options. So now, alrighty then, so you have to take a moment, read this, and summarize this paragraph with a few words, only a few words. Do the same with this one. Okay, take a minute. I'm going to read through it too. When I'm finished reading, we'll continue. Okay, so what you should have done was write a few words to summarize this part, this paragraph, and the same here. Okay, so here are my summaries. When I read this part of the passage, this paragraph, my observation, my summary is that overall it talks about physical, it's very physical, and the injuries. Okay, and when I look at this paragraph, my summary is it's about dedication, it's about the time. I see a lot of words, 36 years, a lot of classes, um, period, it's time invested and personal experience. Okay, can still be achieved, things like that. Okay, so those are my two summaries of the paragraphs. This will help us connect the options to these paragraphs later. So we're going to do exactly the same with the options we get. So when we go back to the example, you have the passage and here you have the options. Your job is to connect an option to one of these passages. So what we have done is we summarized this passage and we summarized that this paragraph. We summarized that paragraph. We'll do the same here, 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 and here. Okay. Now we are going to summarize as well these individual options. Thinking of paraphrasing will help you a lot. So when you read through this first one, okay, through endless tries at the usual exercises and frequent failures, ballet dancers develop the neural pathways in the brain necessary to control accurate, fast, and smooth movement. So all of that summarized in a few words is it's repetitive training neuro. That's all I want to remember because it's impossible to remember everything in there. When I look at B, the ballet shoe offers some support, but the real strength is in the muscles built up through training. Okay, so shoe, muscle, strength built up through training. So you would carry on and you would do the same with the other options. Remember that there are extra options that we don't need. Okay, so I believe, one moment. Yes, exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is an extra option we don't need. Want to make sure. All right. So now, so we have summarized every single option with our improvised summaries or observations. Now, if we look at this one, no one avoids this. It is ballet's great democratizer, the well-established members of the company working alongside the newest recruits, working in a team together. That is the overall idea I get of this option right here. So great. So what do we have? Now we have summarized every paragraph. You don't need to summarize, but it's good to summarize that. Summarize all of them. You summarize every paragraph. You summarized all the options. So you have summaries everywhere. Okay. So now look out for words like this, they, it, before or after the gap. These words refer back to something previously mentioned. That something could be in one of the options. Look at F. No one avoids this. What? What is this? This is something that was previously mentioned in the paragraph. Okay. It is ballet's great democratizer. What is it? Again, it is referring to something that was said previously in the text. It's very important to look at these words. They refer back to something. Our job is to find that something and then connect it. Okay, so here we go. We have these two paragraphs. We have our summaries, okay, and we have our summaries for every single option here. Now, looking at our summaries, here are our two summaries. One for the reading passage. This would be this one. Okay, okay. Physical no injuries would be in the 37th one. Okay, and dedication, time invested, personal experience. That's the summary of 38. And then we have all our summaries of the different options. So let's see, we've made our summaries. Can we possibly see connections? Can we see connections through our summaries? Let's look. Physical, no injuries. Repetitive training, neuro, no connection. Okay. Physical, no injuries. Shoe muscle strength, maybe, possibly. Let's remember that one, but it's not a clear connection. Okay. So, and then we have modern distractions. Nope. Then we have physically hard, not dangerous. Hello. Physical, physically hard, no injuries. It's not dangerous. That is the best connection so far. Then we have determination to improve. Nope. Work in a team or together. No connection. Long-term work to become an expert. No. So our best connection would be physical, no injuries, with physically hard, not dangerous. The same, we would do exactly the same with the next paragraph. Dedication, time invested, personal experience. Okay, can we see any connections? So repetitive dedication, nothing about neuro really. No. Okay, let's read further, look at the other ones. Okay, time invested, long-term work to become an expert, personal experience, dedication. These two seem to synchronize and fit pretty well. Okay, long-term work to become an expert. So yes, physically hard, no injuries, it's not dangerous. Okay, dedication is continuous, it's time. And then you have time invested, it's all long term, it's referring to periods of time. Okay, and personal experience, could become an expert. That's not 100% clear, but I can see that. Okay, so now let's look at the paragraphs. Okay, I don't have any doubt that 37 is D. It has to be D through the connections. I mean, physically hard, not dangerous. That is perfectly fine. And it clearly says so in the passage as well. Okay, so moving on. At 38, this is a little bit less obvious. So let's look at 38. In 38, continuous training period, a decade of practice. These two things are in the paragraph. These are exactly the connections we want. If you remember when I said you have to find the connections. In 37, the connection for D would be that no need for injuries, and they also mention dangerous. Okay, well, and then moving on to 38, continuous training periods and a decade of practice. If you look at this paragraph right here, okay, now here in G, it takes at least a decade of high quality regular practice to become an expert in any physical discipline, to become an expert. And it also talks about a decade. So it talks about time. If you read this, there's a lot of mention of 10,000 classes. That's a long time. Okay, 36 years later. Again, they're referring to time. Okay, now age, that's a point in time. Moving on, lengthy period. Again, it's talking about period. Okay, well, maximum flexibility can still be achieved. Okay, well, that's not really relevant, but you can become an expert. If you're a ballet dancer, you need maximum flexibility. So this is how, and this is the strategy you need to do your best, or the best you can do in this specific part of the test, of this paper. Okay, so let's review quickly. Okay, so you have a passage. You read that passage, pay attention to the beginning and the end, but also read the middle, but special attention to the beginning and the end. Summarize the passage with your personal observation, what you think that passage is about. You do the same with the options. Once you have all your summaries, you look at your summaries and you connect your summaries. You will be able to connect them. Okay, once you have connected, you found a connection between them, you verify by reading in more detail and you confirm if it really is that one. And it will most likely, highly likely, probably be the correct connection. So this is how you approach part 6 of the reading and use of English paper. Thank you very much. We're going to look at part 7, which is the last part of the reading and use of English paper. And get ready. I'll see you there.